Alright guys, today we're going to learn how to enter a new listing into Brokerment. So you just went on the appointment, you got the listing, congratulations, and it's time to input your transaction into Brokerment so that the EE can go ahead and schedule photography, double check the listing, and start their process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a transaction. Right here, we're going to select what type of listing it is. So whether it's an ASR listing, Rocket listing, VIP, or commercial. So we're going to, for these training purposes, we're going to put ASAR listing. And then on the status, this is always going to stay as a listing. The only time it's going to go straight into pending is if you're putting in a buyer contract into here. So if you're putting in just a listing, we're going to keep that as listing. So fill out the buyer address information. So we're going to name this 12345 Main Street in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Price is going to be $500,000. We're going to leave the list date and expiration date blank, as well as the other acceptance dates and the closing dates for now. Acceptance dates might change in the future. We might end up selecting the acceptance dates, but for right now, we're going to leave that blank. Listing agent, so say this is Misty Brownell is the listing agent. We don't know who the buyer agent is because it's just a brand new listing. The EE, we're going to leave that blank as well because we're not really sure who is the EE at this time. Client name, so this is where you're going to put in the client name. This additional field, the more you can fill out, the better. The more information we have, the more info we have for the client, the better way we're able to assist you. So let's say this is going to Bobby Joe for the client name. Maybe Bobby has a wife that she's going to be the main contact, so we're going to put Lily Joe on here. If we know the disc profile name, the disc profile selected if you can, this is going to help the experienced expert know what they're getting into when they're first calling your client, as well as something for you to remember. Hey, this is a D personality. I need to make sure that I'm straight and to the point with them, and it goes for all the other personalities. Marital status, we're going to put married. Kids, let's say they have Billy Joe as their kid. Maybe you can put yes, one, Billy Joe. Pets, we're going to put they have one dog. This is really something that that we believe in our core values and in our mission statement, to really, the more information we have, the better way we can connect with the client. So that's why we ask for that information. If you have it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But if you can't fill it out, that would be awesome. So that way when we are in contact with them, we can ask about their kids. We can provide an extraordinary experience for them through this information. Occupancy status, we'll say this is occupied. If there's an alarm instructions, fill it out. So yes, arm 555, disarm 55666. 6666. So you can put that information. If it's none, you can put none. Type of sign that you would like at the house, we're going to put Riggs post. This is the wooden post, temp post, window. Any special notes for this, you can put in here. So say if you want to put none, association name or association required or something like that in the notes for that, that would be great. Lead origination date, so if you have it, put that down. So say, I just talked to him in September and he's ready to list now. Appointment date, we can say that the appointment was today, so let's put today is the appointment date. Listing sign date, we can put today's listing sign date as well, because we just went on appointment today. SLA receipt, we're going to leave that blank. This is something the EEs will fill out. Photography date, rigs date, all of this you're not going to know yet, but we'll go in and fill out later. Home inspection, termite, open house, date, this is all for later down the road when it goes under contract. Scrolling down to, there's another note section if you need to put in another note section. So it looks like we're pretty much filled out. That's it. The rest is for under contract stuff. So we're going to click next. We're going to put in the context information. So this is serves as a CIS for you guys. So we're going to put in Bobby Joe's information. So this is Bobby Joe, and he is going to be a seller owner. We're going to add, and then we're also going to add a Lily Joe. Lily Joe is also an owner. And then we're going to hit add. Lily Joe, Lily at lily.com or whatever, and then her number is blah, 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 blah. Create. For some reason, it didn't ask me the same for Bobby Joe, so I'm going to put Bobby Joe in there again. Oh, you know what? Bobby Joe was already a contact in here, so that's why it didn't ask me for his contact information. So just for training purposes, we're going to just add an S next to it. I must have used Bobby Joe in the past. I'm going to hit owner and then add, and it's going to come up with the new Bobby Joe information. So let's put Bobby at bobby.com, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to hit create, and we're going to hit next. This is where we're going to put in our who's the listing person, listing company, which is always going to be us, obviously, in this for this purposes, because we're doing a listing transaction. And when we're going to put, we're receiving 4%, and then we don't know who the buyer side yet is, but we're going to put that there will receive 3%, and then the total gross commission should be 7. So we're going to hit create. Alright, so the transaction has been created. It is in Brokerment. The contacts are in here now, and everything is set up. Now, if you don't do anything outside of this, nothing's going to happen. The transaction is going to be created. It's going to have all this wonderful information in there, and then nobody's going to know. So the next step is really, really important, and it's adding a checklist to a transaction. So what do we need to do next? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click add. And then you're going to hit agent side listing. So that is the template that we're going to apply from Brokerment. We don't know the photography date, we don't know the listing date, but we know the listing agent is Misty. So we're going to hit Misty Brownell, and then we're going to hit add. So now we have tasks that we need to do prior to somebody else doing the transaction. So proceeding with the transaction. So the first step is for Misty, because she's the buyer's agent. For tomorrow, we set up this template to be the next day. So if you want to complete it early, that's great. But just kind of a timeline of things. It's usually 1 day after the listing is submitted that it will get processed. So if you're able to do it right away, that's great. So the first task for us is to check all documents for dates, prices, and signatures. We're going to scan through our paper or whatever you guys have. If it's a PDF, you're going to scan through, make sure you have everything, make sure you have all the docs, dates, prices, and all the data information is filled out. So I got it, so I'm going to hit the checkbox. Next thing is to upload all listing documents to the transaction. So you want to be able to upload the whole listing as one packet to this task. The only way to complete this task is to upload a document to it. So we're going to hit upload, and then we're going to upload, let's see, let's find a good thing to upload. Alright, so here we go. We're going to upload this screenshot. So imagine this is a listing packet. So we uploaded it and it's in here and it's ready to go. The listing is now inside of Brokerment. Once you upload any documents, they all get stored under documents on in here. So you will be able to go in and view them again. But again, once you're done, you have another step to do for the day. So you have 3 steps as a listing agent. When you create the transaction, you're going to check the documents for dates and pictures. You're going to upload the listing to Brokerment, and the next you're going to apply the next checklist, which is EE pre-listing checklist, and assign the task to the EE. So the next thing we're going to do is apply add checklist to the EE. So we're going to apply the EE pre-listing checklist. We don't know the video date, we don't know rigs date, we don't know photography, we don't know expiration, none of this, but what we're doing is we're assigning Selena always as experience expert in here. She will be the first one to receive the listing, and then she will assign a TC to the file. So that you can, they'll be able to reassign this once, but everything will go to Selena firsthand. And then front receptionist is always going to be front desk because it is a bucket place that we're going to drop all the other tasks in. And then we're going to hit add. Now they have now we have an assignee to every single task, and we have a due date. So we're gonna go in to make sure that everything is correct, and it does have it. If none of these have a due date, what's going to happen is just going to go into Selena's bucket of tasks that don't have a due date, and she will not be able to ever see it. So it's really important to make sure that you kind of scan through it to make sure that she has it. So the next thing for Selena, if there's any special notes or additional info, you're going to make a comment here and let her know that there are special notes on this listing. And then other than that, she has a task for tomorrow to intake the listing, make sure everything is correct and it's uploaded. She's going to the next, for tomorrow the 19th, she's going to call the client and introduce herself, or she will reassign the EE to do it on that date. She's going to check all documents, save everything into the cloud, send out the email to the client, call the photographer, schedule photography. All of this is going to happen on October 19th, which is the next day. And then she has other tasks to do later on. Once she receives it, she will go through and make sure that all the other tasks are completed or have a due date on it. So your job on this end is done. You have created it. Now there is a next step is for Selena to go ahead and intake the listing, but on your part, it's done. So just if you ever need to go back to the main field with all the information, just click anywhere on this black spot. And then if you need to add something to it, you can always hit edit and then hit edit in here, and you'll go back to this field. So, and then if you ever need to update the users and contacts or anything like that, you will just log in here, and then you can add new user or contact through this portal. Or say you, Bobby Joe's email changed, so we're going to hit on Bobby Joe, we're going to edit him, and then we're going to fill out a little bit more information on that. Other than that, if you want to see, oh, I just completed a task, I'm not sure what happened or it disappeared, under this activity, you'll have all events. So anything that you've done with the transaction will be in all events in here, or if anybody else touched it. Checklist added, documents added, tasks complete, etc. So everything will be under this area. All right, that completes our video. Hope to talk to you guys soon.